Can you introduce about yourself?
Okay. Hi, my name is Akshata. I started my career 3 years back with Tech Mahindra as a software quality analyst. I'm currently working in e-commerce domain, defining test case scenarios and converting them to the test cases, and execution of test cases and reporting defect if I found any defect to the developer and get them fixed. For that, I have used Jira tool as my project management tool. I have experience on functional automation, regression, sanity, and API testing. For API testing, I have used Postman tool. In my current project, I have worked on automation testing where we have used Selenium with Java and TestNG framework. For build management, we are using Maven, and for version controlling, we are using GitHub. And for continuous integration, we are using Jenkins. I have attended all agile seminars and well aware about them. That's all about my career. Aside from career, I am a good learner, and I love to travel a lot. Thank you.
Okay. So Akshata, whenever you are introducing about yourself, you talked about your experience, but you should also mention what are the skill set you have used for your current project or current purpose. Right? Like for automation, you might have used Java and Selenium, right? For
Yeah.
API, you might have used Postman. For database, you might have used any type of DB. So you need
Mm,
to mention those skills while introducing about yourself. Okay.
okay. Okay.
Uh, let's start with Java. What do you mean by constructor?
Okay. So constructor is the special member of class. It is synthetically is same as that of method. Constructor itself defines that it is constructing some value. So it is the use of constructor is to load the non-static member of the class and to initialize the data members. There are two types of constructor, that is default constructor and user defined constructor. Default constructor is called by the compiler. If there we haven't used any constructor in the class, no, then default constructor will be called by the compiler itself. But user defined constructor can have another two types, that is parameterized and non-parameterized. In parameterization, we can give the parameters to the constructor, and non-parameterized is same as that default for syntax. In case of syntax, in yeah, so like that. This is constructor.
Okay. What is method overloading and method overriding?
Okay. So method overloading and overriding these are the types of polymorphism. Method overloading is compile time polymorphism, and method overriding is runtime polymorphism. So in compile time polymorphism, method argument and method definition and method method declaration are binded together while the compilation of program based on the argument. And in method overriding, the method declaration and definition are both uh, both binded together while execution of the program based on the object creation. Method overloading is also called as early binding because it is getting binding while the compilation, while during the compilation. Method overriding is called as late binding. Method overloading can be used for both static and non-static methods. Method overriding can be only used for non-static methods.
Okay.
Mm, Class name should be same for method overloading, and the parameters should be different, and it should be in the same class. For overriding, the class name should be same, but not the method name should be same, but argument should also be same, but it can be performed with two classes, which will be subclass and superclass. and it will be performed with the help of inheritance operation.
Okay. Now, is it possible to access like static properties into other class, like overriding or static members? Is it possible?
It is possible if I'm writing a static method and I'm using inheritance operation, but I have to if I'm creating the object of the son class, but I have to give the reference of the super class. It is called as method ID, and it will give implementation of the super class. For example, should I explain in, like, if I have class A and I have class B, class A is a super class and class B is a subclass, and there is method in class A as M1, static method M1, public static void M1, and I am inheriting that in class B with the help of extends keyword, and same method is here, and we are giving different printing statement. Here I'm in class A, I'm giving as a akshata, and in class B I'm giving as a for example Sonali, I'm giving name as Sonali printing statement. But when I create the object in main method, na, we have to give the create object of subclass, but we have to give the reference of the superclass, that is a class a reference variable, for example super is equal to new b method signature terminator, and when we are going to call the method na, like a dot m1, we will get the output as the akshata. This is method hiding because um, subclass implementation is hidden by the output is hidden by the superclass.
Okay, good. What about constructor? Can we overload the constructor?
Yes, we can overload the constructor.
What about overriding? Can we
We
apply
cannot
that?
we cannot override constructor.
Why?
Because the class name will be different. For if I'm going to or write it in another class, the class name should the primary uh, rule for constructor is the class name should be as that of constructor name should be as that of class. If we are going to override in another class, the class name will be different.
Okay. What is the difference between super and this keyword?
Okay. So super and this keyword are used for variables. If I want to access the global variable of the same class, then I will use the this keyword. And if I want to access the variable of another class, then I will use the super keyword. And the variable should be the same, like a int a is equal to something in both the classes.
Okay. So basically, this keyword and super keyword both used to call a global variable, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
if we want to call it within the class, then we will go for this keyword. If there are multiple variables with same name, and if we want to call it in a different class having same variable, in that case, we will go for the super keyword.
Yes,
Okay. And do you have any idea about collections in Java?
yes, yes, sir.
No. So, what is the difference between, let us say, a list and set
Difference between set.
and list?
Okay. So both are the sub interfaces of collection. Mm, List can accept n number of null values, but set only accepts one null value, except for the preset. Uh, uh, Again, the duplicate values accepted by the list are duplicate values can be accepted by the list, but set in set only one duplicate value is accepted, and preset also preset don't accept the duplicate. No. Duplicate value is not accepted by the set. Right.
In set, duplication is not allowed.
Yeah, the duplication is not allowed. Only one null value is allowed. But only preset is the exception for that. Preset doesn't allow the null. And then in list, the order of insertion is maintained, but in set, the order of insertion is not maintained. It is different for every implementation class. In list, the if you want to access the particular index method is used, but in set we have to go for hash table.
What is exception in Java?
Okay, so any abnormal condition which is coming to the program is exception in Java. This can be handled by two ways, that is throwing catch, try and catch block, or by a mouse over action, and it will throw with the help of throws keyword.
Okay, what is checked exception?
What is?
What is checked exception? There are two types, right? Checked exception, unchecked exception.
Okay, so the exceptions which will show when the compilation of the program is checked, and the exceptions which will not be shown when which will be shown after the execution of the program, that is unchecked exception.
Oh, so one is compile time exception, another one is runtime exception. Good. Tell me, what is the significance of static keyword?
Okay, static is if I am using the static keyword now, then I don't have to use the object of that particular thing, or I can access that variable throughout my project. Like yeah, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Can you hear this? So it's basically provides scope of that particular variable or method, right? They are static keyword, scope of that particular for that particular.
And I don't have to create object for that.
Okay. What are different type of varying string?
Different type of
String.
declaration of string. Okay, right. This is what your question is now.
Yeah.
Okay, string can be declared with the help of new keyword and without new keyword. We can declare string.
So what will be called a string without new keyword?
So string without new keyword will be like it is stored in the string constant pool area and string non-constant pool area. In that string with new keyword will be objects of that will be stored in that area, and duplicates are not allowed in constant pool area, and duplicate is allowed in non-constant pool area.
Okay. What are different exceptions in your found?
Different types of exceptions I have, of course. Okay, on null point exception, array out of the box index exception, then string element exception, trim not found exception, then no such element, no such frame, then arithmetic exception, null pointer exception.
What is 10 element exception?
When the locator is present for the existing module, and we have upgraded that module or that functionality, but the locator is present, not still any exception.
Okay. Can you give me any real-time example of that?
First element.
No.
Okay. So for example, like okay. First, we used to like have if there is for the first some modification is done for the logo, not logo, for a click button, login button, and some we no sign up and sign in, like that, login, okay, login or something. First their requirement was like they should have login on that functionality, but the requirement changes and they have given the that it should be sign in. Then the both locators are present, but when I am finding for the login, then it is time.
Okay.
Element exception.
Whenever this question asks like any real-time example of the same element, you should always talk about a dynamic element. Okay. Because dynamic elements are the elements which XPath will get refreshed whenever the page is getting refreshed, right? So every time
Okay.
XPath will change. So if you don't change the XPath in code, it will show you their element exception.
Okay.
That is one example. Another example you can talk is whenever there is a drop-down list. Like whenever
Okay.
we are filling up any form, then there is a attribute like state or a district. Then there is a drop-down list, right? So
Okay.
if that list is dynamic, means those state names can be reshuffled, then that time you will find a same element exception.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's about Java. Let's move to Selenium now.
Yes.
Tell me what is the difference between WebDriver and web element?
Okay. So the driver is used to perform the action of the on the browser, and web element is used to perform the action of elements present on the web page.
Okay. Now, if I want to get the URL of current page, now can I get that?
URL of current page. You have to give launch the browser, and after that driver dot get current title. Current URL, sorry. And the return type will be string.
Okay. Now, let us say there are multiple tabs open in your browser. Okay. And you want to store URL of each tab. How can we do that?
There are multiple tabs, and after that,
we have to store URL of each tab.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe get with the help of set of strings.
Set of strings, but how can we do that? There is one method in Selenium for that.
I don't know about that, but maybe with the help of you might tell me. I don't know.
Okay. So do you know get window handle?
Yeah, okay, I know. I get it. I will tell you. With the help of get window handles, we can do that. In that we have method get window handles, and we have to driver dot switch to window dot. No, just get me it. Get window handles. We have to find the ID for that windows and number of IDs, and that we have to pass the ID to the which we want to handle.
But can you tell me the code of get window handle?
Code get window handles. Set of strings. Okay.
We need array list for that.
Array list. No, I have not done array list. I have not used array list for that.
Oh. What are the different locators in Selenium?
Different locators: tag name, ID, name. Then we have list, linked list, partial linked list, link, partial linked test, new test, then and XPath, CSS. Yeah,
Okay, which one is faster?
uh, it is ID.
What is the faster one, right? What is the difference between a relative and absolute expert?
Relative. If I want to move from the parent to the immediate child, then it is absolute absolute XPath. And if I want to move to any child from parent child, then it is relative XPath. Relative XPath. Yeah.
Yeah, so from
Single forward slash and double forward slash. Single forward slash is used for absolute XPath, and double forward slash is used relative XPath.
how can we handle drop down in Selenium?
Instant and drop down can be handled with the help of select class, but for that the tagline should be select, and we have to create object of select class, and we can pass we can read handle that with the help of three methods: the select by index, select by value, or select by visible text. And we have to pass the locator to the select class.
So first we have to find out web element of the drop down.
Yeah.
We can then pass the object of that web element to select.
Cool.
Okay. How can we fetch input from Excel sheet?
How?
How can we get data from the Excel sheet?
Excel sheet, data from Excel sheet. For that we have to add JAS, Apache JAS for that first, and we have to write a code, and the code will be like we have to create class file input string. F is equal to new file input string. In that we have to pass the location of the Excel sheet with extension, and after that we have to create we have to there is a class workbook factory dot create is a method. We have to pass the f reference variable of the file input string to that dot get sheet, and we have to pass the sheet name to that. Then you get rows. We have to pass the row number. Then you get column. Get cell, sorry, and in cell we have to pass the column number and dot get string cell value, and the written we have to store it in the variable, and that variable return type will be string, and we have to return this data. The variable is data and return data, and the method which we have declared, it will be changed. The return type will be changed from void to string. Like that we can read Excel sheet data.
So what is synchronization in Selenium?
Then synchronization is wait, right? Okay, so in Selenium we have different weights: implicit, explicit, and fluent. For implicit weight, it is a global weight. It will wait for all the elements of the web page to be till all the elements of web page is loaded for the given particular time. Then explicit wait is if we want to give we want to wait for particular web element to be loaded with given with different conditions, or some we have to pass some conditions. For that we will use explicit wait. And fluent wait is we have to give the maximum wait for that element or web element to be present, and it will check for every whatever we are giving the polling frequency. For that it will go and check if that element is loaded or not.
And tell me code for implicit wait.
Implicit wait, okay. The product is driver dot manage dot window driver dot manage dot times out dot implicitly wait. In bracket, we have to give time. For example, I'm giving 10 seconds, 10 comma time time unit dot in which we are going to give the time seconds, hour, or days. For that seconds in the upper letters on the second should.
What is form model?
Okay. So it is a Java design pattern. Uh, it is used for the Java classes or for R, and it follows encapsulation. In that, we have to declare variable globally and initialize it in constructor and use in the method with access specifier public, and the variables which we have declared globally, we have to give access specified to it as private.
Oh. Do you have idea about testing?
Yes, I'm working on that framework only.
Okay, what is testing?
So TestNG is the framework which they are using. It gives us the different like assertions, then keywords, then it provides us the test reports, suits, and then it also gives us failed test cases and jazz for dependencies.
What are different annotations in testing?
Okay. Before class, before method, at the rate test annotation, then after method and after class. So before class is run only one time. Before it is a setup process. We have to set up browser and all that in before class, and before method is like before every test, before method will run, and after method is also run with the every test case. In test annotation, we are giving the test cases which we want to give.
Okay, and can we set sequence of execution of test cases?
Can we?
Set sequence of execution?
For test cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can give them sequence with the help of priority keyword if you want to. If you don't give them, it will be equal priority, and with the help of method in like alphabetical order, it will be sequence given.
Okay. Can we give negative as a priority?
We can give
How will we impact?
minus in run first.
Oh. And what if I want to skip some test cases?
It can be skipped with the help of keyword enable false, and also if it can be skipped in we have to go to the next in that dependency, and we have to sorry, not dependency. In also in that we can include words or exclude word. In that we can skip.
TestNG XML, right?
Yeah, TestNG.
Okay. Now, if I want to execute one test case multiple times, how can I do that?
It will be with the help of depends on invocation count. Invocation count, with the help of keyword invocation count, you can execute multiple time one single test case.
Okay. Can I use priority, invocation count, enabled keyword, or in a same test case?
Priority, enabled.
Like multiple keywords we are having.
Yeah.
Test, right? Can we use it for a test?
We can.
And how will you re-execute failed test cases?
Re-execute failed test cases. In test outputs, test that output, we have in .xml. where we will get the failed test cases, and from there we can re-execute the failed test cases, only failed test cases.
Can we automate that?
Yeah,
How can we do that?
if we know the test cases, then we can run them because it gives us the fail.xml.
No. So every time we execute our suit, right, some test case will fail. So if any test case is failing, it should re-execute automatically. You no need to look for the TestNG failed XML and re-execute again. We need to automate that. Is there a way we can do that?
By grouping them, and
So answer to this is, in TestNG we are having I retry analyzer interface in TestNG only. I retry analyzer, and that interface is having method retry. Using that method, if we implement that method in our code, the failed test cases should will execute automatically. If a test case is failing, it will re-execute automatically.
okay, I did not have any idea about that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Lastly, can you explain which framework you use and what is the structure of your framework?
My whole framework structure.
Yeah.
So currently I'm a developer and framework. In that, uh, I have Apache PI jobs, then TestNG. Apache PI jobs are used for the third-party tuning for getting the Excel sheet data. Then I'm having a TestNG which provides for different annotations, keywords, assertions. Then another, fail, fail test cases, fail test cases point, reports, and form.xml. Then I have GitHub and Jenkins. GitHub is a version control tool, uh, which is maintaining which is used for maintenance of my code on the third repository. Then I have Jenkins, which is continuous integration tool, and I have Marvin project in that. It is fully I have Marvin playwright, which has structured folder, which has both structured folder. In that, I have SRC in Java SRC. In Java, I have contains form classes, base classes, and utility classes. In that, I have screenshot and the Excel sheet methods, which are used for code reusability. Then form classes contains the our form classes contains the encapsulation, and in that we have the with the help of encapsulation we have data and numbers over there. And test classes, we have base classes. In that I have browser setup or uh, the methods which we browser setup or things which will be needed to call or to minimize the code. That is why base class is there. Then I have test SRC test SRC main test. In that I have test classes to run the to keep the test flow of the classes. And SRC SRC main resources, there is driver. All my drivers are kept over there. SRC SRC test resources. In that I have test data. I have logger folder over there. Then it contains the log for jars, which will keep the logs of my all activities. I have a target folder. In that I have screenshot folder. Again, there is a form.xml where all my dependencies are there. This is all my framework.
Okay, so where does this all files related to your framework or your jars, your dependencies will be stored in your local system?
Where does
Where it will get stored in your local system, in your laptop, let's say. What is the location where all jars or dependencies or the files will get stored related to Maven on your project?
In Polymer taxonomy, we are adding the dependencies, but when in which reciprocity it is stored, M2 dot reciprocity maybe.
Yeah, M2 repository is the name of the folder where your all jars will be stored.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Akshada. Yeah, that's it from my side. Do you have any questions?
Oh, wow. No, sir.